Okay. All right. I think it's time that we address the elephant in the room. Once again, this time the elephant being the Snyder Glaze, I guess you could say. The Superman Snyder Glaze. Because it seems that nowadays, everywhere I go, there is somebody who is being irritating in that they're just glazing Henry Cavill's version of Superman to the point of oblivion. Like, seriously, I don't know when we got to the point on the internet where people just were blindly like we just have a culture of glazing certain characters, right? And I guess with this new Superman movie that's been released, people are now throwing shade at David Cornsweet's adaptation of Superman and are now showing Henry Cavill nothing but praise for his interpretation of Superman. People saying that David Cornsweet's version of Superman is weak and he's a crybaby. He can't he's not that good. He can't fight or whatever, right? Like there's all types of different arguments, right, that are being made for his version of Superman, right? And we're just like giving praises, not nonstop praise to Henry Cavill because well, he's Henry Cavill, right? And I've come to the conclusion that there is there's simply it's simply just a fact that people like Henry Cavill, right? And because people like Henry Cavill, they're they tend to just, go towards his character, right? They just tend to go towards anything that he's involved in, right? So if it's Henry Cavill, it's just him, right? But the thing is though, right? It actually isn't. It actually isn't really. They specifically praising Henry Cavill as Superman only, right? Because if you ask these guys to go watch any other version of Superman, right? I mean, go watch any other Henry Cavill movie, right? Any other project with Henry Cavill, they probably won't, right? Like I can bet you, and if I get proven wrong, then I get proven wrong. There is not one like Henry Cavill Superman Snyder Glazer who has actually watched any other Henry Cavill movie, like The Man from Uncle or Enola Holmes. Like they genuinely just have never seen any other Henry Cavill project. The only Henry Cavill thing that they love is that he's Superman, right? The Superman stuff, right? Because that's what we like. We just want to watch Henry Cavill Superman, right? Because he's dark, because he's edgy, because he's gritty, he's cool, he's so awesome. We love Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill's amazing. He's the best, right? But at the end of the day, you need to look at it and actually like you have to look at things for what they are, right? Henry Cavill Superman is good. He is good, right? I'm not going to say that he's bad, right? However, he is only good in the version of the DC universe that Zack Snyder was trying to adapt to the big screen, right? He wanted a darker, like the edgier, like more grounded, more realistic interpretation of the DC universe. That's the vision he was trying to create. His vision is much darker for the DC universe, right? James Gunn's version of Superman and David Cornsweet's adaptation of Superman is very much the opposite of that, right? So I don't know what it is, but I think because DC has a reputation for being dark, right? People all of a sudden they just want the darkness all the time, 24/7, right? Superman isn't meant to be like Batman, all right? I think people fail to understand this. Superman is not meant to be like Batman. And in a lot of ways, Henry Cavill's Superman, because he's in a darker, much grittier world, he is also a darker, much grittier version of Superman. Still is a symbol of hope, still is a hero, he's still a good guy, but I mean, he's also killing people, right? I mean, same with Batman. Batman's also just going off and killing people, right? Like, these are not the versions of the heroes that you'd expect, right? Even Batman, for all his darkness, for all his edginess, right? He doesn't kill. He doesn't kill, right? And Ben Affleck was branding criminals with his bat symbol, and I'm pretty sure he killed multiple dudes in the warehouse fight. Like there was several of those dudes died, right? And if you watch the Ultimate Edition of Batman v Superman, like when Batfleck throws the box at the one dude and it hits the dude and he goes flying and hits the wall with his head, like there's a blood smear. Like the dude, the dude died, bro. Like Batfleck is just out here like killing criminals. Same thing as Superman with those with those dudes in Africa, was it? Yeah, in Africa. Like, dude, I'm pretty sure he straight up just killed those he killed those mercenaries straight up. Like they just died, right? So, like, this version of Superman is very much accurate to the world that he lives in, right? He's still a symbol of hope. He's still a hero, but at the same time, he has no concern for destruction of property, and he clearly does not care about the preservation of life, right? I mean, he killed Zod, he killed mercenaries. Like the dude is just ruthless. He's very much what you'd expect a dark Zack Snyder Superman to be. And for that, he is good. However, he is not Superman, all right? For as good of a movie as Man of Steel is, I love Man of Steel, right? And although Batman v Superman has its flaws, I do enjoy some moments of it, and I do love Zack Snyder's Justice League. It's one of my favorite superhero movies, right? But for me to sit here and say that um, Henry Cavill's Superman is a good Superman, that would be a lie. That would be the biggest lie of all time. He's a great Superman. He's good for the version of the world that he lives in, but as a Superman, right, literally being Superman, he's not good. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, right? There are many actors who have played Superman in live action way better. Christopher Reeves, Tyler Hoechlin, um, Tom Welling, all better. And David Cornsweet is no exception. David Cornsweet is the superior Superman. The reason being is because he actually feels like Superman, right? Superman is a symbol of hope. He is a positive force in the world that he lives in, right? He is meant to be a symbol of positivity, right? That symbol of hope has a very much positive connotation to it. And that positivity for David Cornsweet came with a little bit of quirkiness, a little bit of dorkiness, sure, right? But he represents exactly who Superman is, right? I mean, in the movie, we literally saw the dude. He did his best not to cause any like ridiculous amounts of destruction, right? In Man of Steel, Henry Cavill Superman was not concerned with destruction of property whatsoever, right? I mean, he literally jumped over a truck and let it hit a building, and the building exploded. Like, come on, man. Like, are we seriously gonna act like Henry Cavill Superman like cared about the city around him? No. Whenever he was fighting his villains, he literally throw them into buildings and let those buildings explode, right? But in this new Superman movie, David Cornsweet is actually like making sure buildings don't collapse. Like he's literally holding onto buildings, carrying them, right? Making sure that the lady who almost gets hit by the building, who's in her car, gets out safely before the building collapses, right? Obviously, he wasn't able to save the building because it was already collapsing and it was unstable, right? So it's not like David Cornsweet's like weak or something, right? If the building was more stable, then obviously he could have held it back, right? But I mean, it was unstable, so it makes sense, right? But he was making sure that that lady who was about to get hit or collapse with the building, didn't get hurt, right? He protected people who were out to harm him. I mean, seriously, he was even saying to the engineer, like he was fighting the engineer and his clone. He even said to the engineer, like, "Hey, you can turn away. Like you don't have to listen to Lex, right? You can turn your life around, right?" He's advocating for the people who are against him to turn and come to like the side of good, right? He doesn't want them to be bad anymore, right? He's a good guy, dude. I mean, he's saving dogs, he's saving squirrels. Like, I mean, the dude genuinely is a symbol of hope. We see this throughout the entire film, right? Even when people are attacking him and berating him, he doesn't let it stop him from the fact that he wants to do good, right? And even though we figure out that Jor-El and his wife were actually actually sent Clark on a mission to harm the Earth and to enslave it rather than to save it, Clark wanted the message to be something else. He believed the message to be something else. He didn't believe it to be something bad, right? So we know that he is truly a good guy, right? He is truly a good guy. And it's like Jonathan said, that the fact that he wanted it to mean something else speaks more about him than it does what the actual message says, right? Henry Cavill Superman was a good guy. I keep saying this, right? But David Cornsweet's Superman, what? No, 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 no. Let me actually rephrase this, right? Henry Cavill's Superman was a decent man trying to be a good hero, right? But David Cornsweet's Superman is simply a good man being a good hero. Like he manages to do both really, really well. He's a good man and he's also a good superhero, right? That there's really nothing else to it, right? Um Henry Cavill, in comparison, he's a good man, but he's not a very good superhero in my honest opinion, right? Like, seriously, there's been so much destruction caused because of like Henry Cavill's Superman, right? But you can't really say the same for David Cornsweet because he's actively ensuring that there is no like property damage, right? Or damage to any people, anyone, right? He ensures that not a single person has a scratch on them. That is heroic. That is what Superman is, right? He's making sure that not even the smallest of creatures are injured, right? Henry Cavill in the first Man of Steel movie, I'm pretty sure thousands of people died from the amount of destruction that they like the battle with Zod was causing in the city. Like I'm pretty sure thousands of people died. Like seriously, like this is insane. The comparison between David Cornsweet and Henry Cavill's versions of Superman, it's two very different visions, and I can respect the vision that Zack Snyder was trying to go for, but that vision isn't what Superman is meant to be, right? And also, there's an argument that David Cornsweet's Superman is like weak or something because he was getting beaten up left and right throughout the whole movie. Except, yeah, no, no. I think what James Gunn meant is that he's meant to be weaker than other live action versions of Superman because I mean, if you look at it, like, dude, there's several versions of Superman that are just like super overpowered in live action. Like Christopher Reeve Superman, um, in his movies, like he in one of the movies, he pushed the like he managed to move and push the moon in order for it to impact the sun. Like that's flipping overpowered, right? Tom Welling's Superman pushed back Apocalypse, sent it flying so far that it actually escaped the solar system, and Apocalypse was the size of Saturn. Tyler Hoechlin's Superman even managed to stop like two universes from colliding. I'm pretty sure something like along those lines. Like I'm pretty sure when James Gunn said he would purposely be weaker, he meant that David Cornswet's Superman would be weaker than in comparison to other live action Superman because other live action Superman have performed some absolutely ridiculous feats. But that didn't mean that he's weak, right? Because at the end of the day, this is still Superman we're talking about. He's still able to escape the pull of a black hole using his freeze breath. He was still able to get the hits in and beat down on his clone, right? A clone of him, by the way, who was stronger than him, right? He managed to overpower the engineer and his clone while he was being suffocated by nanites and flying into the air, right? Like we're not talking about just some regular superhero who's like like just weak, right? We're talking about Superman. Still, at the end of the day, he is weaker than compared to most other live action Superman, but he's for sure not weak. And I'd actually argue that he's even more powerful than Henry Cavill's Superman. And if people want to have that debate, then we can have that debate, right? But I actually do think that David Cornsweet's Superman is actually more powerful than Henry Cavill's Superman, right? And like it's not even fair, guys. I mean, this movie has been out for almost 2 months now, and people are so quick to just like absolutely trash the heck out of it because they have so much love and so much respect for Henry Cavill's Superman. But I think it holds true to what people say that you don't appreciate something until it's gone. And I think the reason why this glaze is coming out now and in the fashion that it is because we have been ushered into a new era with James Gunn's movies and the DCU, and we've stepped away and basically killed off the DCEU, right? And people are upset about that, right? But at the end of the day, like that doesn't mean you have to hate on David Cornsweet Superman because at the end of the day, he is the more comic book accurate version of Superman. He is the version of Superman that people want to see, right? If you want to see the like Zack Snyder is like Henry Cavill's Superman, right? Then just rewatch Man of Steel a million times. Rewatch Zack Snyder's Justice League a million times. Rewatch Batman v Superman a million times if you want, bro. But if you're actually a comic book reader and if you actually been keeping up with Superman over like since his inception, right, and like over the last couple of decades, right, you would know that Superman is a symbol of positivity and hope, bro. This is the version of Superman that most accurately represents the comics, not Henry Cavill's Superman. So, with all that being said, David Corn Sweat Superman is elite. Henry Cavill is good, but he's not better than this guy. And that's pretty much going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And hopefully I will see you guys next time. And please subscribe if you haven't already. Goodbye.